Hey everybody, welcome back to another review video, or just another video in general. Making this video because I have seen a couple recent comments on my channel. People have been asking what cameras I do use for my videos, and I'm going to be answering that in this video. So starting with this side, I will put like a stock image and links in the description for all these cameras if any of you want them, because I'll be going over some specs about them too and stuff. So starting with this one over here, which is, as you can tell, it's a Sony CyberShot. This one specifically is a Sony CyberShot DSC W350. This was my first ever camera I used to take, I guess you could say, high quality siren photos with. I'll put the first ever siren photo I ever took on the screen. But yeah, that photo used digital zoom, and that's why it looks kind of blech. But you know, this camera's from like sorry, my dog. It's from like 2011 or something like that. So I mean, it wasn't terrible for the time I used it. It does have a good megapixel count. You have two little microphones right there, the tripod mount right there, oddly on the side of the camera. You have the speakers on the corner right there, very weird placement. This is the door where you find the battery right there, and then the SD card. I'm gonna take the battery out. That's the battery right there. Flip it over here. That's the battery that it uses. It's an N type. God damn. Okay, sorry, my dog. And then let me take the SD card. When I first discovered this camera, it had a 2 GB card on it. Sorry, my dog. But when I first discovered it, it had 2 GB just in it. So, give me a second here. I gotta go take care of my dog. Okay, pardon the interruption. Anyways, let me just keep on going here. So yeah, that's the. Where did I leave off? Oh yeah, when I first found the camera. And it's little, conveniently enough, when I found it, it came in this little carrying case, which is kind of cool because it's like a little backpack, I guess you could say. Anyway, it also does have its wrist strap or hand strap, whatever, kind of, so you can hold it like that. And yeah, the camera does work. It's just kind of jank. It just doesn't always want to turn on. It does have 4x optical zoom. It does have steady shot, which is nice. It has a Zeiss Zeus lens. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, the camera does work. Let me see if it'll turn on here. It did. Yeah, that's the camera. It does work pretty nice. Sometimes it does this for whatever reason. It goes between those two modes, and I don't know how to get it to stop, and it gets really annoying. But yeah, it does. If I can get this thing to work, please. It does. Okay, yeah. This is why I stopped using the camera, because of this crap. Let me fucking zoom. There we go. Yeah, it's 4x zoom. It's kind of garbage. So, but I mean, this is a cheap camera from back then, so just get a shot of the lens closing and opening. But yeah, that's just the lens opening and closing. So don't really use the camera anymore. It's just kind of in a state of inactivity until, you know, further notice, because it's kind of just a collector's item at this point. I don't use it. So that's everything for that. Then again, that camera will be in the description if you want it, or just want to look at more specs and more detail than what I can give, because that's all I can think of at the top of my mind. Moving on to this chunkier, way chunkier version of a CyberShot here. Let's do a little comparison. Like, I mean, look how thick this thing is. Hold on. Just gotta point this out here. Look how thick this thing is compared to the other one. Yeah, it's a very, very thick camera. This one right here is a Sony CyberShot. What was it? It was, what did it say? Oh, DSC HX9V. Sorry, pardon, I forgot the name, but This camera I got recently because one of my friends by the name of Max, he recommended this camera because he had an HX9 and he said it was pretty good, so that's why I got this one as my behind the scenes camera for like when I recorded the Darley STH10, the BTS was recorded on this camera right here. It does have 16 times zoom, which is very nice. The thing that kind of sucks about it though is that when you're recording, the zoom is slow, but when you're not recording, it zooms quicker, which I'll show you in just a second. There's some more specs right there on the stickers right there. And this has a Sony Lens G. It doesn't use the Zeiss, whatever lens. Regardless, the lens is good. It does have GPS. I just don't use that because I'm pretty sure the difference between the HX9 and 9V is that the 9 only does not have GPS. The 9V does. Does have steady shot too, which is pretty nice. Good stabilizer. And the flash is under this little door here. It does record AVC HD, which is old, but I mean AVC HD does work wonders still. The megapixel count is only, or it's 16. I was about to say because that one's only 14.1. This is 16.2, which is pretty good. Here's your microphones, left and right, stereo. Here's your zoom knob right here, right next to the shutter button. This is your giant wheel of options. We have video, 3D photo, which this camera is also from, I believe, 2011 or 2012. 3D photo that's even way ahead of its time. It's pretty cool. Scene selection, I don't know what that one is, unfortunately. That's intelligent auto, superior auto, primary, I think that means, manual, and then whatever the MR stands for, and then panorama mode next to the movie mode. You have your custom button and then your on-off button. Over here is let me flip this over. This is a HDMI plug, or just a port, crap. This also has the wrist strap just like that one, which is nice. That's the movie button right there. This is the media button, menu button. It just turned itself on because I pressed that. Let me turn that off. There's the delete button, and this is the scroll wheel. There's your display, burst, timer, and then flash, or your up, down, left, and right. And then the middle is just your select button, I guess. And this scroll wheel does also rotate, which is pretty nifty. This is a pretty giant lens too for this tiny little camera. When this thing's fully zoomed in, when I'll show you, this thing pops out very far, which kind of explains why it's so chunky. This is a heavy camera too. That one's light. This one's heavy. The screen's very clean. Cleaned it a couple days ago. And I did get this in refurbished shape, not brand new, refurbished, which still is pretty good. There's that same port on the bottom of this, kind of like this one right here. Has the same plug next to the tripod mount thing. Here's the battery and SD card door. This uses a chunkier version of this kind of battery. Uses a G-type battery, NP BG1, which is, I guess, better because the battery life on this is pretty good. I have a 64 gig SD card in here, which does work. I did have a 32 in it originally, but then I got 64 before SirenCon, and I was like 32 might not be enough, so I wanted to be sure. So I got 64. That's pretty much everything about the camera. There's a little sticker right there. Made in Japan. I do love this camera. It has a nice feel to it, especially when you hold it like this. There's a nice feel to it. Let's turn it on here. Let me just get a shot of the lens popping out. That's a pretty cool looking lens right there too. Just flip it around. This does not have that stupid mode selection constantly on the screen, so you can freely do whatever. This does have 16, so it zooms in pretty far. And here, I'll show you. Here's how the lens looks when it's not zoomed. That's how it looks when it's zoomed. Like, look how far that is. That's a very far zoom. 375 minutes of film total. This is 1080p 30, I believe. Might be 60, I'm not sure. I'm recording this in FX. I record videos in FX because it's the highest quality and it makes it look best. Yeah, the zoom on this is very, very nice. 16 times, not that bad. I'm not gonna go through the menus because menus just literally infinite, but yeah, the flash is under this, like I said. When you're a photo mode or something, you turn on the flash through this right here. You press that and there's an option between off and auto. When you press auto and it's dark, obviously the flash will pop up and then it'll take a flash picture, which I'll show a example of on screen, flashed image with this camera. Photos on this are very, very nice. The video is also pretty good as well. But that's pretty much everything on that. Then again, the link for that one will be in the description. If you want a good compact camera for BTS, say, that's a good camera, I'll say right now. It is a good camera if you want compact though. It's good for what it is. I mean, battery life's pretty good too. But yeah, that's that one. Moving on to this one right here. Now, this is probably one of my favorites out of this entire assortment here. This is my Sony Handycam CX405. This is my camera I use for main shot, like for the Darley or almost every other siren video that has good zoomed in, like photo or video, is taken on this camera. This camera is older for at least for how long I've had it. I've had it for about 2 years now. There is a little bit of like wearing away at the HD text right there, and there is some weird like scuffing marks around the I don't know, that's like the lens. Weird scuffing on it. You have your left and right stereo mic. This also does have a Zeiss, I don't know how to pronounce it, lens, which is pretty good. This has a wide lens too, manual lens cover, so you can kind of look at the lens right there as is. There's the hand strap because it's a camcorder. It also has a little USB thing in the hand grip, I guess you could call it. Use that a lot. User multi, never used that before. Probably used for streaming or stuff. That's what I've seen it used for. This has zoom in and out in photo. Crazy thing, this has, I believe, 30 times zoom optical, 60 times with clear image, and then 350 times digital zoom. That is a good amount. Though I don't use the digital very often. There's your 2 SD cards that you can use on this camera. You can use, let me just open the screen here. Turn it on, open the lens cap. This also does have a flippy screen that flips around all these orientations, which is lovely. This has a very, very, very good zoom. I do have digital zoom enabled, but this is, yeah, the zoom just keeps on going. Digital zoom, of course, degrades your quality, so that's why I don't use it, but yeah, that's that. And all the raw audio that comes from my siren videos is off this camera. It's raw audio, which, I mean, the audio is pretty good from it, so. This cool about this one is it's not touchscreen, unfortunately, but it does have this little joystick that you can just joystick the screen around. Very, very nice. Your tripod mount right there with a secondary hole. Not sure what that's for. Just close that for a second. Got this battery door right here for this chunky battery with this extra space. I don't know what that's for. It's just kind of there. Let's just take the battery out. This is the battery type it uses. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, this battery, just so you know, the battery door is not supposed to come off. It's supposed to be kind of like this. It's supposed to kind of fold back, but it broke off, so. I don't really care though because it still latches on and keeps the battery in there, so I don't really mind. But yeah, that's the thing. Again, this is the camera that I use pretty much the most out of almost all these. It's very, very good for zoom. If you want a good camera that's a camcorder that has good zoom and good audio, this is a very good pick because these are also not that expensive either. There's like $200 on Amazon. They're very, very good for the price. Very worth it. But yeah, that's that camera. Again, the link will be in the description. highly recommend these two cameras so far. Anyway, moving on, we got this chunky DSLR, SLR, whatever camera. This is my Canon EOS Rebel T2i. This is the camera I use for most siren photos nowadays. I got this last year in July. There's so many things to talk about on this camera. Has a viewfinder, first to bring up. Very, very nice. Kind of see through that. Has a nice big lens. I actually have two other lenses in the camera bag that I'll show in a second up here. This is the shortest one. It's 18 to 55, so it's not too much zoom, but it's good for what it is. Got a hot shoe for flash, and believe, what was it? Like audio stuff. There's the menu, display button, your record button, or I guess settings check or whatever. AV, don't know what that is. That's media playback, scroll wheel stuff, kind of like the Sony, one, but not really, because all the stuff's in a different area. The delete button, digital zoom, I guess, zoom thing, speakers right there, and then your SD card goes right here. I have a 32 in there with a adapter. Probably switch that out for the normal 32 SD card that I have, but here's the tripod mount right there, and your tag, whatever, right there. Just pull back this. There's a very chunky battery in this camera. This is not the original, by the way. The original battery for this camera got basically foobarred because it sat in the camera for years and years unused, not charged, and it would infinitely charge, but not actually give any life to the camera. So this is its replacement that I got at a battery store in Fargo. It's a Duracell Ultra. I do have two others, kind of like the other cameras. I have three for basically almost every camera here. I have three for that one, three for that one, three for this one, but that one I don't have any others, unfortunately. I just don't use it, that's why I don't have any others. But there's your scroll wheel of modes, whole crap ton of modes. You got video, I think that's portrait, action mode, I believe, something. That's macro, landscape, which I use a lot. That might also be portrait. I don't know the name of these modes. That's, I believe, flash or something. Actually, hold on. Let me turn the camera on. Here's your turn on ISO. Here's your thing. What is that? Crap, God. Okay, I'm spacing out here. There's your, that kind of wheel, I guess you could say. There's your shutter button, soft press for focus, full press for photo. Here's your shortest lens on this thing. Seems pretty good. It's in video mode. Let me just go to this. This is night portrait. You have sports, close up, macro, landscape. That's portrait. Flash off, full auto. I don't know what that is. That's primary or something. TV, don't know what that is. AV, don't know what that is. Sorry, I'm not a professional with this. This is manual, I know. And this is ADEP. Not sure, but got that back to full auto, I guess. The flash does pop up from right here. It's just kind of, you got to put in, I believe, full auto or something, and then it'll pop up when you press this little button right here. And there's your T2i. And there's your mic, microphone right there. I don't know if there's any other mic holes for it, but I think that's the only hole for the mic. Is there anything else? And if there's the lens, very nice. Just look at these little, you got your stabilizer, turn that on. You got your manual and autofocus. You do this for manual focus, and you got this for auto. Basically going against the motor when you do that, which is why I don't recommend doing that. Here's your giant selection of stuff. You got a mic jack. You got a, I don't know, a headphone jack? Not sure. Doesn't look like one. You have a AV out digital right there, and then a HDMI out. Kind of similar to what's on the Sony Cybershot right there. And again, this is Canon. Very, very good camera. Any good high quality siren photos that you see, like if I put them out on a post or something, it's usually from that camera, because you know it takes it takes the best photos out of every camera here, with these 3 being the most common that I use, because, you know, this one kind of trash at this point, considering what I have, but, yeah, this is that camera. Not really much else to say about it, aside from it's probably the best one that I have here in terms of photo. I have taken video on it before, but Canon cameras, especially of this kind, are not the best for video. That's why I reserve these 2 for video. This one's just photo. That one I don't even use, like I've said like 5,000 times. Yeah, that's pretty much it for all of these cameras. Again, all the links for all these will be in the description if you want to purchase one of them or look up all the specs for them, because I don't know every single spec about all of these. I just know a minor amount of them. I just went over the main ones that should be known. And if any of you want to see what, if I can even get this off, there we go. Here's what the inside of the mirror looks like. Mirrored camera, lovely. Put the lens back on. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to share about my camera, basically my camera setup out of all these. So I guess I could do a quick little recap of all of them. Again, here, this is the DSC W350 Sony CyberShot. Don't use this one. 14.1 megapixels, pretty small screen, dodgy zoom, 4x optical, 27x digital. Pretty small battery in here. I showed that, and you got your 2 gigabyte SD card that's in there. Yeah, got your wrist strap and all that. So that camera, don't recommend it, but I guess you can look at more specs if you want. This is the CyberShot DSC HX9V. I'll put both the 9 and 9V in the description because again, the 9V has GPS. The HX9, I believe, has no GPS. But if I can't find a link for an HX9, because I know they're pretty uncommon, then I'll probably just put an HX9 in the description. But yeah, that's the HX9V. Pretty chunky camera, pretty heavy, very nice camera, I love it. There's the HDR6 405 Sony Handycam. Very good camera, I love it. It's very good for what it has, what it gives. Very good for video. If you want like a high zoom, there's me, my phone. But yeah, if you want a good camera that can get good zoom, audio and all that good jazz, good camera for that. Very, very good camera for that. And this is my Canon EOS Rebel T2i. Good camera, good camera. It's expensive though, because I got this one for free from my aunt. I do love her for that a lot. And I guess I could show you the camera bag that has a couple things I never showed you guys. Just face up right here. Let's open it up. Here we have this giant attachment for the Canon, and it can take double A's. It has a double A tray that you can kind of pop out on the side here. There's a bunch of, at least 6 double A's that you can put in there if you don't have the batteries. There is another tray in another part of the bag that can take 2 of the normal batteries. I'm trying to find it, put this back in. Can take 2 of the batteries that the camera usually takes of 1, and then yeah, so I don't really use that though anymore because I've already got a battery for it. No, whatever. Here's my second most chunky lens. This is I don't really use this one very often. It's the 55 to 250 millimeter. Pretty good zoom on it. The one I use the most, especially for silent pictures, is this one. The chunky 70 to 300. Yeah, zooms out very nicely. And I do have the cap for when you don't have a lens on it, right here. And I do have some filters in there too, but those are just kind of in there. The 2 extra batteries for the Sony Handycam right here. Got these off Amazon. But yeah, These batteries I did use at SirenCon because my batteries on these cameras died out pretty quick. Which is why and also, yes, I probably forgot to point this out. When I first wanted to record the P50, I'm kind of going off topic for just a quick second, but when I first was recording the P50, I was using this as main shot, but this thing's battery was 1 bar, and I was scared that the battery would die during the P50 going off, so I switched, because I was using this CyberShot for my BTS originally, and then I, like the P50 test video was recorded with this. I was using this for BTS originally, and then when I stopped recording, I switched this out for main shot. This was main shot when the P50 went off, and then I switched this for BTS. Which this thing somehow, you can see why this thing is just such great battery life, because it was at 1 bar that entire BTS of the P50 going off. This camera stayed alive for that long, which is just amazing. And then my extra batteries for these, for the CyberShot, the one that I actually use, are right here. They are Costar, which, as far as I know, K-Star, Costar. It's pretty good, so that's why I use them. Gotta find out how to put this thing back on. But yeah, that's pretty much everything about my camera bag that I have to say. If I can even get this thing back in there. Oh, it was like that. Yeah, there we go. The bag does have a couple extra things. It does have a neck strap right there. You can't even see it. I can't even see it. It's hard to see, but there's a neck strap in here. That second tray for the 2 normal batteries. Speaking of which, the batteries for this Canon, where did I put those batteries? Oh, there. The 2 extra batteries for this Canon. Let me grab them out here. They're right here. There it is. BM premium batteries. They're cheap Amazon ones, but they do the job. Yeah, that's basically my camera's review, pretty much all of it. The chargers for all of them are just kind of in this little pouch here for all the cameras. So yeah, that's all in there. I'll just close this up. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to share with all of my cameras here. So yeah, for people that left comments asking what cameras I used for my videos, this hopefully should give you a pretty good answer. So yeah, like I said, I don't even use this one anymore, so it's mainly these 3 that I actually use. And yeah, like I said, this one I use for BTS, this one I use for main shot, this one I use for photo. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to share. So yeah, peace out.